All right, now this. The U.S. slapping sanctions on 13 government and military officials in Venezuela. This is to try maybe to contain the quest for absolute power by the socialist government. That is likely to happen this weekend. Come on in, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, host of War Stories. Okay, if we apply sanctions, I don't think that's going to do any good whatsoever in terms of stopping any fighting, literally street fighting, that can break out this weekend.
Stuart, we've got, of course, this weekend, Sunday is the election. It's going to basically put in a new constituent assembly in Venezuela, in Caracas. Here's the bottom line of it. You've already got 1.5 million refugees and internally displaced people in Venezuela. It's a modern country. This is not Ulaanbaatar. And what you're looking at is a very strong likelihood, given the price of oil just went up a few pennies to, what, $48 a barrel? The bottom line of it is we're the #1 importer of Venezuelan refined product and crude. If there's a sanction program that the United States imposes that cuts into that, you could end up with a whole lot more refugees. There are very few good options in all of this. Unfortunately, we're inheritors of the previous administration's benign neglect of everything happening in Latin America. And so President Trump has now got another crisis on his hands with a country that ought to be an American ally. And of course, Chavez changed all that with his Bolivarian revolution, that we now see Maduro trying to extend his tenure from the 5 years maximum of not being able to run again. He now wants to be, I guess, president for life.
Well, he wants to be a socialist dictator. The vote towards that end is this Sunday. We hear that that there could well be street fighting in Caracas and other cities in Venezuela. What should we do about it? Granted, we can impose sanctions, but that's not going to change things. What should we actually do?
Well, actually, sanctions are probably going to make the military think twice about backing this guy. I mean, granted, you've had a long time under the Chavez so-called Bolivarian rule, but you still have officers and senior NCOs, non-commissioned officers, who believe in a democratic process down there. And what we ought to be doing is quietly encouraging that. We're going to get blamed for whatever bad things happen down there, no matter what, Stuart. It might be nice if we, for a change, took a hand in trying to move it in the right direction, which is a restoration of real democracy. And you're absolutely right. He is a socialist dictator in the model of Vladimir Putin and, of course, the Castro brothers in Cuba.